phone booth, unaware that the iron door behind him is slowly closing. He drops a coin into the slot, ready to make a call, but the phone is broken, unable to connect. Frustrated over losing $1, he doesn't know the real nightmare has only just begun. When he tries to leave, he finds the iron door won't open. Confused, he assumes it's just some childish prank that temporarily trapped him inside. The sun beats down on him with unusual intensity, and the heat gradually makes him irritable. Fortunately, 2 office workers walk by. He quickly taps on the glass to ask for help. They notice him and walk over, but his voice is completely blocked by the glass. Through gestures, they understand what he means, and together they try to open the door. One pulls from the outside, while the man pushes from the inside. After a while, the door still won't budge. The man notices their strange behavior has attracted a growing crowd of onlookers. The 2 people glance at their watches, realizing they need to get to work, and leave for now. The man remains optimistic, smiling and waving goodbye. Soon, more and more people gather around. Delivery workers stop to watch. White-collar employees pause out of curiosity. They all want to see what's going on. The spectacle even catches the attention of a strongman. After inspecting the phone booth, the strongman decides to pull open the glass door. He is incredibly strong, but despite using all his strength, even breaking the door handle, the door still doesn't open. The crowd bursts into laughter, and even the man inside can't help but smile. Unwilling to give up, the strongman tries again, gathering momentum to slam into the glass. The man inside thinks he's finally going to be saved, but after several failed attempts, the crowd laughs once more. Ashamed, the strongman walks away. Since brute force doesn't work, it must be a matter of skill. An experienced repairman arrives, carefully inspecting the phone booth, but finds that there isn't even a single screw to work with. Eventually, he spots a narrow gap and tries to pry open the door with a screwdriver, but the gap is too small to make any progress. He tries another gap at the top with the same result. With no solution left, the repairman reattached the broken door handle, at least proving his skills. Knowing the repairman did his best, the man doesn't blame him. At that moment, he realizes that, as more people gather, a miniature society has formed around the booth. A shoeshine man sets up his stand to make money. Vendors sell balloons, and some ill-intentioned people take the opportunity to steal food. Yet no one can actually help him get out. Exhausted, the man squats down to rest. Then, in the distance, he hears the sound of a fire truck. Someone has called the fire department. The man immediately perks up. The firefighters quickly assess the situation. Circling the phone booth, they come up with a plan. They set up a ladder and prepare to break the glass from above. The man feels afraid that the shattered glass might fall on his head. Just as the firefighters are about to act, someone in the distance shouts for them to stop. The masterminds behind the conspiracy finally appear, dressed in green uniforms. They claim to be employees of the phone booth company. They say they need to take the broken booth back for repairs. The man is completely confused. He was about to be rescued. So what's happening now? He tries desperately to stop them, but his voice can't get through the glass. In the end, the man is taken away. The onlookers cheerfully reassure him, saying, "Don't worry, we'll get you out." Comforted by the crowd, the man feels a little calmer. He still doesn't realize how serious the situation is. Being rescued a little later seems fine to him, but as pedestrians on the streets stare at him, he begins to feel embarrassed. Hello. The truck drives farther and farther away, slowly leaving the city behind. When the truck stops at a traffic light, there happens to be a funeral nearby. The deceased lies in a transparent coffin, eerily similar to the man's own situation. He too is trapped inside a red phone booth. At the next traffic light, the man finally realizes something is wrong. He sees another person trapped in the same kind of phone booth. Only they can truly understand each other's suffering. There can't be such a coincidence. The man finally understands. It's a conspiracy. He pounds desperately on the glass, begging the driver to let him out. When the driver ignores him, he frantically tries to get help from passers-by. But since his voice can't be heard, people think he's just waving hello. Thirsty, hungry, and exhausted, the man loses all his strength and collapses in despair. The truck continues on, reaching a desolate, barely inhabited area. He thinks of his family, takes out his wallet, and looks one last time at the photos of his wife and son. He recalls what happened that morning, and can't understand what he did wrong. Just then, a military helicopter appears overhead. Using his last bit of strength, the man begs for help. Although the helicopter clearly sees him struggling, it flies away. It turns out the helicopter is there to guide the truck. Even a military helicopter has been deployed. What exactly is going on? Why would they abduct an ordinary civilian like him? Led by the helicopter, the truck drives deep into the mountains. At the end of the road, a tunnel appears. The truck drives inside, and the flickering lights make everything even more terrifying. Inside, a group of people are assembling phone booths that cannot be opened, and shipping them out. Each booth represents a human being who will be imprisoned. Finally, the truck stops. The man has reached his destination. In terror, he looks up as a crane slowly lowers a suction device, lifting him along with the phone booth, and placing it onto a conveyor belt. As the belt moves forward, the man falls into complete despair. In front of him are countless others trapped just like him. Their fates are sealed. They will all turn into piles of white bones and hopelessness. Meanwhile, outside, workers place a brand new phone booth back, where the crowd had been earlier. Will someone fall for it again? Will people ever notice the problem?